What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about British dishes that everyone should try. So, as an American, I am fascinated by how different the food is in Britain. So, today, I'm interested in learning about 9 of the best British dishes that the rest of us here should try. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
British food has gotten a bad rap. A lot of people call our grub bland, boring, uninspired, overcooked, beige, boiled, revolting.
Revolting? See, I never understood this. I gotta be honest. I have heard on the internet that Americans, or I don't know if it's an American thing or if people around the world, have a stereotype about British food being bad. I've heard that as that is supposedly a stereotype, but I gotta be honest, as an American, I never hear anyone talking about that here in the US. Now, to be completely honest, we don't talk about British food or British culture, for that matter, very much in the United States. But not in a positive way, not in a negative way, just in no way. So it always fascinates me how much I hear that British food has a bad reputation. Because it doesn't here in America. It's like Americans don't know what to think about it, but I don't know. We were like, oh, fish and chips. Yeah, that's probably good. And that's about it.
A lot of that reputation came about during World War II when the whole country was put under rationing and we had very little variety. By the way, thanks for coming, America. You were a couple of years late, but we won't hold it against you.
This is a World War II thing? Britain got a bad reputation for food in World War II. Well, anyway, true or not true? Well, I'm finally going to hear some British dishes that are apparently fantastic, that everyone needs to know about and try. So, good.
The reality is that Britain has a great number of tasty, nay, scrumptious dishes. And I want to talk about the best of them and really put to death this idea that Brits don't know their way around the kitchen. Yes, There's more to traditional British food than just fish and chips and mushy Brussels sprouts. And
see? That's funny. That's funny that she mentions fish and chips. Because if there's any stereotype going on in America, it's that British people only eat fish and chips and tea. So that's funny that she mentioned that.
By the way, America, your national cheese is made of orange plastic, so don't get stones. Let's start our color.
Hey, what did we do? What our cheese? I mean, American cheese is kind of gross and artificial. That might be true.
Culinary journey through Britain with Scotch eggs.
Okay, hold on. Scotch eggs. What is a Scotch egg? There's a lot of different ways to do or prepare your eggs. Sunny side up, scrambled, over easy. Lots of ways to have eggs. Personally, I've never heard of a Scotch egg. I'm not sure what that means.
It's a classic picnic item invented during the 18th century as a portable food for long carriage rides. It's a hard-boiled egg wrapped in sausage, covered in breadcrumbs, and then deep-fried. These precious nuggets, cradled in fat and cholesterol, will in fact kill you, but ma'am.
Oh my God, wait, what? Where's that picture of it again?
Carriage rides. It's a hard-boiled...
Well, there it is, okay. Oh my goodness. I didn't know you could do so much with an egg. I feel like I've heard of that egg that you can you put it in a little egg holder and you get out like a fork and eat it like in a little egg holder, like one egg. I'm not sure how that works or if I'm describing that correctly, but a Scotch egg, this looks fancy. Is this like a common breakfast item in Britain? Because this just looks nice. The way that it's embedded inside, she said sausage and like breadcrumbs. And how do you even do this? Wow.
Boiled egg wrapped in sausage, covered in breadcrumbs, and then deep fried. These precious nuggets, cradled in fat
Wow.
and cholesterol, will in fact kill you, but man, what a way to go. Savory
Oh my gosh. That sounds really interesting. I think a lot of Americans would be excited to try that, actually. That's I'm starting to understand what this list is going to be. If this is any indication, I think everyone should try a Scotch egg. That sounds fascinating. Okay, savory pies. Oh, savory pies. Like pies with meat and stuff. Yeah, when we talk about pie here in the United States, like it means a like sugary dessert pie. A pie with chocolate, or sometimes fruit, apple, blueberry pie, lemon pie, pecan pie. There's a lot of pies, but we don't have many savory pies. We do have a chicken pot pie. I've never had one. That's kind of fallen out of style, I think. But I think Britain has a lot of like this savory stuff in the pies, which is not what us Americans typically think of pie.
pies. Americans think of pies as crusty, gooey desserts filled with oversweetened fruit. But did you know that they are just as delectable as savory dishes? And I'm not just talking about the boring old pot pies that you guys are familiar with. No, from steak and kidney all the way to jellied eel, nobody does savory pies like the Brits.
Jellied eel? Jellied eel? Steak and kidney? I don't know how British people do it. I know it must be a cultural thing. Like, if you're British, this probably sounds good to you, appetizing, but as Americans, when we hear... Did she say jellied eel? Like, that, I don't know. It puts me on the edge of my seat. Not, like, in a great way. I don't know. For lack of a better word, makes me a little nervous to think about like kidney pie.
I'm including Cornish pasties in this category because they're basically pies with handles. Delicious, flaky handles.
I mean, probably worth trying. Like, I have to have more of an open mind, I think. Worth trying, I think, because there's gotta be a reason it's so popular in Britain. Okay, let's keep going.
Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. So mash is like what British people call mashed potatoes, I think. So I know the mash. Americans love mash if it's mashed potatoes. What is a banger? That's in America. In America, a banger is like a really, really good song. What is it in Britain?
Succulent, tender sausages with mounds of mashed potatoes and boatloads of oniony gravy. It's one of Britain's best-known dishes, and rightfully so. It's delicious. But do you know why they're called bangers? The name reportedly dates back to World War I and refers to how sausages will often burst or bang in the pan if they are heated too quickly.
Really? Man, this sounds like a banger of a food dish, now that I hear it. Sausage, mashed potatoes, gravy? That sounds good. I have no trepidation about that. That just sounds good. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. Okay.
Curry.
Oh, curry. I know curry is it traditionally an Indian dish? Yet it has a big popularity in Britain. Curry is not at all, like, popular by any means in the United States. To be completely honest, I'm not exactly sure what curry is, even. But I'm interested. I'd be curious to try it, because I've heard of it. I've heard of the name. I don't know what it is.
Yes, you haven't experienced Britain if you haven't had a great curry takeaway. But wait, aren't curries from India, I hear you ask?
Yeah.
Now, I know this isn't arguably proper British food, but really, what's the point of invading half of the world if you can't culturally appropriate their best food? It's our culinary Elgin marbles, and we're never giving it back.
Okay. She didn't explain what curry is. She did say it's Indian food. It's very popular in Britain, I hear. I'd be interested to try it. This is the photo. What is this? It looks like it has some meat. I like meat. Other than that, I'm not sure, but it looks good. So there's that. Crumpets. Crumpets. The most British thing ever for Americans. When we talk about Britain and food, one of the other things we joke about is, oh, tea and crumpets. I'm gonna have some tea and crumpets. Very stereotypically British. One of the few foods us Americans know about. Although, again, to be honest, even though we say this, not really sure what it is. I think it's like a muffin. It's like a bread pastry muffin. It's what we Americans call an English muffin. In America, we eat English muffins. I'm pretty sure that's what a crumpet actually is.
Crumpets. Oh, I love crumpets. They're kind of like a cross between
Yes.
a pancake and an English muffin, which
Wait, what? Wait, what? In Britain, you have something called an English muffin? And that's different than a crumpet. Oh no. Now I have no idea what a crumpet is. It's between an English muffin and a pancake. That kind of helped. I mean, it sounds good. Don't get me wrong, sounds good.
by the way, we don't have in England. The middle is filled with this honeycomb-like lattice, so when you toast them and then put butter on top, the butter melts into the holes and fills up all the little gaps, and it's just like...
Yes. I'm usually a little hesitant about the foods that are not American food, but I gotta say, today, a lot of these British dishes sound very good. Very good. And I'm pretty picky, I'll admit that. Scotch eggs, the savory pie, maybe. The bangers and mash and crumpets sound wonderful, actually.
Bacon butties.
And these names. Bacon Buddies. No idea. Never heard of it. If it has bacon in it, I think I'm on board. Most Americans love bacon.
Why do Brits call sandwiches butties in the first place? Well, it's just a shortening of bread and butter.
Wait, what? What is a buddy?
Butties. Why do Brits call sandwiches butties in the first
Sandwich? A buddy is a sandwich. Wait, this is a bacon sandwich? Or
place? Well, it's just a shortening of bread and butter. It's very northern. And we tend to stuff these butties with unthinkable things like chips, or as you Yanks would say, French fries. Just cover it in butter, maybe some ketchup. Delicious. But my favorite is a bacon butty.
Are you kidding me? This is a bacon sandwich? I'm shocked we haven't invented this in America. No one told us that this was okay. Because I think a lot of Americans would actually love this. But there's a caveat here. Bacon is a little different in the UK, from what I understand. Bacon is different. It's like bigger, thicker, and softer, if I'm remembering correctly, which makes it a little better for a sandwich or a buddy, if I'm using that correctly. So you really need the British bacon to do this, I think.
It's just bacon on a bun. How can you not love bacon in a bun? It's the two best things in the world combined into one thing.
True. Sponge pudding. Okay. So I learned pudding means something else in Britain. It basically means dessert. So this is a sponge cake, a sponge dessert, or I'm trying to extrapolate here because I've never heard of a sponge pudding before.
Sponge puddings. This ain't your mother's Jello pudding, America. No, these stodgy, delicious treats are essentially steamed cakes, often with golden syrup or jam at the bottom. So
that sounds good. I mean, for Americans, it's hard to go wrong with, like, desserts. It's hard. So, by default, I think this looks great.
When you flip them over, the golden syrup and jam pours
Oh,
down
yeah.
the sides. They also have the added bonus of having fun names like Spotted Dick. And they're served hot with lashings of custard. Delicious. Scones with jam and
Scones. Oh, it's not scones. Scones. I used to say scones like an American. Scones? Scones. I can't even do it. That's a very British word as well, that us Americans have heard of. And again, I've heard of it, but I do not know what it is. This video is actually clearing up a lot of questions I've had about British food words. Because I don't know what a scone, I didn't know what a crumpet was. I don't know what a scone is.
clotted cream. And what we call biscuits in the UK. Delicious. Scones with jam and clotted cream. And what we call biscuits in the UK, you call cookies in the US. And
Yeah.
what you call biscuits, we call scones. Now, if you've ever thought
No kidding. This is the information I need. No one ever spelled it out so simply to me. What we call biscuits, which is like bready food, these small bready lumps. It's hard to describe a biscuit without saying the word biscuit. That is what a scone is in Britain. I never knew that.
that a scone was disgusting and dry, it's because you've been eating them wrong. We serve them with
Okay.
jam and clotted cream, which is a very thick cream. Some of it
This is
eating them wrong.
This is exactly what Americans call a biscuit. This is what we call a biscuit. It's a scone in Britain. Oh my gosh, I never knew. You use different toppings. In America, we cover biscuits with either butter or white gravy a lot of the time. White gravy, I don't know if you have that.
We serve them with jam and clotted cream, which is a very thick cream, somewhere between heavy whipping cream and butter.
Huh.
Now, there is great contention between the counties of Devon and
Clotted cream is also something we don't have. I'd love to try this. I'd love to try a scone with like clotted cream. Man, a lot of these foods, I haven't really heard of them, but they sound very, very good.
Cornwall as to how to construct a scone correctly. Now, in Devon, they say you put the cream on first and then the jam, and then in Cornwall, they are adamant that you put the jam on and then the cream. Don't
This is important. This is this is a controversial hot take. Whether you put the cream or the jam on first. Okay.
laugh, wars have been fought over less. Gammon.
Gammon. Literally, I've never heard of this word ever in my life. So I don't even know.
It's a classic English pub dish. Gammon steaks are slices of pork leg that are cured like bacon and then grilled, topped with either a
It's a cut of meat. What kind of meat?
Steaks are slices of pork leg that are cured like bacon and then grilled, topped with either a fried egg or a slice of pineapple, served with chips and peas because we serve chips and peas with everything. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.
Okay. That sounds good too. It's like a cut of pork.
Chips and bacon and then grilled. Gammon steaks are slices of pork leg.
Pork, yes. Cut of pork, prepared sort of like bacon. Sounds good. I never heard of gammon before. Huh. There's a lot of really interesting food here today. And I'm very pleased to say that most of this stuff sounds great. Again, I don't know if there's a stereotype about British food being bad, but I'm not seeing it because, all of this sounded good and stuff I would really like to try. Seriously, I think most Americans, and we can be quite picky, I think most Americans would be like, yeah, this sounds good. So I quite enjoyed this. This video is by Angliophenia, and I gotta give it a like, because I like this very much. That was really fun to learn about. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like, or leave a comment with your thoughts on British dishes everyone should try, these foods, if there's any other British food that deserves to be on this list, that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.